Reality. What a concept. Hi, Dr. Shad Diamond here, and this time I'd like to share a few comments about reality and raising consciousness in order to have a more beautiful life. I am not going to touch on world conditions this time. Spirit says that you need to be more responsible for your own awakenings. Instead, we're going to mix a little quantum physics with spirituality in order to understand reality. Now, this is not really complicated, so don't let it throw you. Even if it takes listening a couple of times, it'll be worth it. So let's start with this. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates. Everything is consciousness. And everything happens within the unity of source consciousness, which is an infinite field of possibilities. So what is reality anyway? Nothing is real until you focus on it. This is mainstream quantum physics. There are only probabilities until you place your attention on something. Then you can experience it as a reality or what you realize. So reality is a perception. It's an interpretation of the vibrations that your senses are recognizing. So what's real to you depends on how you resonate with the universe. It's about how your consciousness vibrates in accordance with the rest of the world. And depending on your beliefs and attitudes, you are selecting specific vibrations from an unlimited field of possibilities within unified source consciousness. And you consequently create a reality for yourself to experience. Therefore, the quality of your life depends on how limited or how expanded your belief systems are. What's available to you is based on what you feel is possible. I say feel because your subconscious has to believe it, no matter what you consciously say to yourself, and your body has to feel it as being true. This means that a higher consciousness allows you to manifest things that cannot be done in lower states of consciousness. And as a matter of fact, more advanced civilizations out there in the universe use less mechanical devices to accomplish tasks because they use their minds instead. It's not mind over matter, it's mind with matter. It's a resonance in source consciousness based on your beliefs, your intent, and your focus. Consequently, your experience of reality changes with the expansiveness of your own consciousness. So let's take a look at how levels of consciousness affect reality. There seems to be a lot of talk lately about the fifth dimension, but a lot of people don't even relate to what that means. And even if you do kind of get it, it's pretty difficult to understand a fifth dimensional concept from a third dimensional point of view. I mean, really, you can't. Now, remember, when we talk about dimensions, we're talking about states of consciousness or levels of awareness from which you create reality. It does not have to do with physically going somewhere. It does have to do with your spiritual evolution and the quality of vibrations within you. This means that science is different in different dimensions. In other words, mathematics and physics will function differently in accordance with the level of consciousness that you are vibrating at. But no matter what dimension you're creating from, it's always about how you are resonating within the wholeness of source energy. So let's use mathematics to demonstrate this. In basic algebra, there's a simple time-distance rate equation, which is about the relationship of moving a certain distance at a certain rate of speed within a certain amount of time. So, if you want to go a certain distance in less time, you have to go faster. If you go slower using the same amount of time, you'll wind up going a shorter distance. That's the relationship. This is a third-dimensional mathematical equation. It has two constants and one variable. The distance is a constant. It's a certain length that you can measure, and it's not going to change. Time is also a constant. The clock ticks at the same pace no matter what. However, the speed of travel, or the rate, is a variable. You can choose to go faster or slower. You were taught this in school. It's what you believe is possible from a third-dimensional point of view. But math and physics, along with how you create reality in general, changes when you raise your consciousness to a higher level. So let's look at this same time-distance rate thing and see what's available if you are creating your experiences from a fourth-dimensional perspective. Distance is still a constant. It's a certain measurement of space, and that's all there is to it. Rate, or speed, is still a variable. You are the one who determines if you will go faster or slower. But now, time also becomes a variable. Time is something that you can choose to alter when you're operating from a fourth-dimensional state of consciousness. You can bend time, which means that you can go a certain distance and get there in less time without having to go faster. This is not sci-fi, it's real. I myself have been bending time since the mid-90s. Therefore, time is an illusion. Yet, when observed from the third dimension, it appears to be an unchangeable reality. Now, if we expand consciousness to an even higher vibration, it also changes the possibilities for reality. So from a fifth-dimensional perspective, all three parts of the equation become variables. You can choose at will to change speed. You can choose at will to modify time. But now you can also choose to change space or distance. This means space is also malleable. It's bendable. You can alter it whenever you want to. That's your reality. So it takes a long time to go to another planet in 3D with a third-dimensional limited belief system. In 4D, you can vary time to get there more rapidly. In 5D, you could be there already by adjusting your perception from one reality to another. However, there are also levels of density within each dimension. You could call it layers of denseness that you have to evolve through as your consciousness matures and accelerates. In other words, the evolution of your spirit grows through stages as you continue to refine yourself, even within a particular dimension. So depending on what density within the fifth dimension you're creating from, you may still believe that you have to do something mechanical. And for space travel, one approach would be that you could bend space-time mechanically by amplifying local gravity. However, the warping of space-time is still a fifth-dimensional and higher reality. Now let's get back to the field of possibilities. Everything happens within the unity of source consciousness, which is an infinite field of possibilities. We create realities to experience by focusing our attention with a particular intent. In higher states of consciousness, less mechanics are needed to do things because you're able to shift vibrations with your mind as you interface with the energy of creation and thereby accomplish many things with your focused intention. Now here on Earth at this time, you can actually have parts of you in different dimensions and or densities simultaneously. For example, you may have raised some parts of your life to a higher state and still be working on advancing other parts of yourself at the same time. In other words, some things could flow freely and easily for you, while other things are still causing congestion in your life. It's all part of the process of stabilizing yourself in a higher state of consciousness. So here's how reality works. Within the quantum wholeness of source energy, your focus collapses wave functions in the possibility field into what we call solidity, or the particle world of matter. But it's still only a perception of vibrations that we are experiencing. Because technically, not only are time and space both illusions, but so is solid matter. We agree to experience it as solid. That is the reality that we are agreeing to. But when you look at anything in the material world with a very high-powered microscope, you'll only find packets of energy when you get past the particles. And if you look even further, it's just vibrations or vibrational patterns in consciousness. So what is reality anyway? It's what you experience based on what you believe and feel to be true. And multiple realities can exist simultaneously within a group of people. However, everyone individually experiences their own reality depending on how they interpret vibrations. And no two interpretations are exactly alike. Even though some may be very similar, your personal experience is still individual to you. You create your own reality. You are a creator. You direct the energy of God, Goddess, Creator, all that is, as it flows through you. You are an explorer of reality, allowing yourself to realize or bring into realization a vibrational pattern is what makes something real in your experience of life. So no matter what dimension or what density within a dimension you're operating from, it's your current operating system that creates what you believe to be real. And it's totally based on your consciousness as to what you feel is possible. And within the field of infinite possibilities, using the energy of creation, you create reality. And everyone is a part of creation. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If you'd like more information on these kinds of topics, go to the diamondcrystalmusic.com website, where you'll find all kinds of free video classes. You'll also find dozens and dozens of quantum healing CDs with complete explanations. So until next time, with so much appreciation and gratitude, peace and love to everyone. Namaste.